before that shitty live action remake comes in 2025, let's take a look back on when the Dragons franchise, was good.
Let's go, bud.
Dragons, Riders, and Defenders of Berk is the 2012 to 2013 spin-off TV show and the first House of Train Your Dragon TV show in the franchise, followed by Race to the Edge, and takes place after the events of the first House of Train Your Dragon and before the events of House of Train Your Dragon 2. So and also before the events of Race to the Edge. So Dragons, Riders, and Defenders of Berk tells the story of Hiccup and Astrid and the Dragon Riders, discovering brand new dragons in the Book of Dragons and even outside of Berk, and battling Alvin the Treacherous and his cronies on Outcast Island, and defending Berk from the threat of not only Alvin and dragon hunters, but a nightmarish species of dragon known as the Screaming Death. This show was literally a mere warm-up for what was to come in Race to the Edge. But Riders and Defenders of Berk, this show has still got a cult following. I acknowledge it is not as polished or as strong as Race to the Edge. It doesn't have the epic scope of Race to the Edge. It doesn't have it doesn't quite have the hearts or the stakes of Race to the Edge. It is a little more light-hearted, but still, I adore Riders and Defenders of Berk to the core, and as far as DreamWorks shows go, this is in my top 2. I would watch this over Kung Fu Panda: Legends of Awesomeness, The Dragon Knight, and Penguins of Madagascar any day, easily. And for the first House of Train Your Dragon show, this was such a good effort. I mean, even if the animation quality is also not on the same level as Race to the Edge, but Race to the Edge had the advantage of also being on Netflix, so Netflix could help DreamWorks with improve the TV animation. But still, Riders and Defenders of Berk is such a nice epilogue to the first film, and shows life on Berk after Hiccup helped the Berkians change their ways and befriend the dragons. And why I am reviewing this show is not only to mark House of Train Your Dragon 2's 10th anniversary this month. Happy 10th anniversary to the most perfect second part in any franchise ever made, but also to talk positively about House of Train Your Dragon before we go into a certain remake coming in the following year. But more of that for another day. Back when, in the glory days of House of Train Your Dragon, the entire 2010s decade, when dragons ruled that decade and ruled DreamWorks, and I do love that this show also brought in established 2 favorites characters in the TV series that would go on to become even better in Race to the Edge are Heather and her brother Dagger. Heather, my favourite character in the entire Dragons TV franchise. She just gets one episode, a two-parter. Heather reports her, but in Heather reports, it's interesting to find out that her and Astrid, though they are besties in Race to the Edge, it's took them time to become besties. Astrid initially, well, doesn't trust Heather in the slightest when she first comes to Berk, and suspects Heather may be working for Alvin to steal the Book of Dragons. But she finds out Heather was telling the truth when she found out Alvin had her parents held captive on Outcast Island. So I love how their friendship grew. And Dagger in this show is more of an antagonist than he is in Race to the Edge. His redemption is yet to come, but he is quite a man-child in Riders and Defenders of Berk, constantly competing with a Hiccup. And this show is shorter than Race to the Edge in comparison. It's just 40 episodes. Riders of Berk having 20 episodes, and Defenders of Berk also having 20 episodes. But the episodes are like 30 minutes longer. So it won't take you that long to get through them, maybe like 2 months or so to binge watch the entire show. And I have to say, the brand new dragons we get in this show are exquisite. That could rival even Grimmel's Death Grippers for most spine-chillingly terrifying dragon in the franchise. And even Stoic has a dragon of his own before he would get Skull Crusher in Race to the Edge, and even Torch, a dragon who the gang rescued. He appears a couple of times in the show, and I love the one where he helped use his mammoth-sized wings to drive the fire back and save Berk. And there's even a comical brand new antagonist working on the inside of Berk, Mildew. He's a grumpy older git who wants the dragons out and wants Berk to return to its old ways. And I love that this show is exploring that. Not everybody on Berk, of course, would automatically warm up to dragons instantly. And he attempts to frame the dragons to get them kicked out of Berk, but luckily doesn't succeed. And it's wonderful to have all the voice actors reprise their roles here. I mean, the fact that they came back to voice the characters for each of the shows and shorts. I mean, they could voice Hiccup and Astrid and the Dragon Riders in their sleep. So that's why I hate that they're being recasted in the remake. Cough, cough. And well, apart from Stoic, of course, Stoic has a different voice actor because Jared Butler was not available. Sure, it shows us lots of familiar territory on Berk and the Dragon Training Arena, but it also goes to Outcast Island and to brand new islands, and so it does balance the old and new with dragons, and even gives us a emotional and compelling backstory for Astrid. Something that she needs to overcome, like her fear of a certain dragon that would come to Berk on one specific night that her uncle was terrified of. So she faces her fear there, and I gotta say that glow on the dragon was the best piece of animation in this entire show. The show doesn't quite go as dark or as ambitious as Race to the Edge, but it is still 90% action and dragons versus other dragons and dragon hunters. So never a dull episode here, and I mean, I mean, both kid and adult dragon fans will go crazy for this show, and this show even isn't afraid to go for the PG rating. Like it does contain mild violence and scary scenes, and even the occasional profanity and language. So it does stick with the tone of the films respectfully, and also Alvin the Treacherous. I think he's voiced by Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker himself. I would need to double check, but I mean, he's what he's so dastardly. He's like what Stoic would be if Stoic never changed. If Stoic stayed a dragon hunter forever, with his dark beard and his formidable looking spiky armor. He sure rules out Cast Island with an iron fist, and in the finale of Defenders of Berk, where he captures Stoic in order for Hiccup to give in. He's not playing around, and I mean, so he's physically imposing, but can be manipulative on the same time. I mean, not far from the best How to Train Your Dragon antagonist. He's no Grimmauld or Drago or Vigo or even Krogan or Trader Johan, but still, as the first proper human antagonist in this franchise, because we didn't get a human villain in the first movie, yeah, he is a great start. And also the theme song for Riders and Defenders of Berk, it's makes your heart soar and instantly ignites your passion for How to Train Your Dragon. It's like a exhilaratingly paced version of John Powell's piece of music, the dan dan da da dan, and even the end credits use exactly the same music as Race to the Edge, which I dig. Ah, isn't it beautiful? DreamWorks, you don't make a TV like this anymore. Now what do you make? Oh, Spirit Wild and Free and the Boss Baby TV show and Trolls. Who gives a shit about them in comparison to this? So overall, Riders and Defenders of Berk is a remarkable and kind of underrated TV show that feel like a perfect epilogue to the first How to Train Your Dragon, and does brilliantly lay the groundwork for what would follow in Race to the Edge.
I give Riders and Defenders of Berk 5 stars out of 5. Best TV show ever.
So yeah, if I had to pick a favourite episode, it would be Heather Reports, no question. If I had to pick a least favourite episode, honestly, I don't have any. There's even a little reference to Valka, Hiccup's mother, where they go and find something that belonged to her, which was so heartwarming. Well, I love you guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. And what are your thoughts on Riders and Defenders of Berk? And are you more a fan of Riders and Defenders of Berk or Race to the Edge? Please comment and let me know. Please like this video and subscribe. Please follow on Twitter and on Instagram. And I'll see you next time. And remember, movies are us. Bye, guys.